Hello everyone, welcome back. So as I said, we are going to discuss about by function in this particular video. So let's create a new class. So by function example, and I'm to have a main method in order to execute the method or the class. Okay, before we are jumping into by function, let's open the Oracle document. I'll see how the by function will work. Okay, so let's go back and look for by function here. See, basically the Y function interface taking three parameters, but basically two of them are input and one of them is the type of written data. So the T is going to be the first argument and U is going to be the second argument, or is the return type. So basically the by function accepts two input parameters. Got it? And just try to read out what is a function interface. This is pretty much similar like a function interface. Okay? And another important thing, it extends function. Okay? So you can use the functionalities of function interface. Okay, let's try it out. Let me create a simple example here. Static by function. See, it's taking three arguments. The first two is input arguments and the third one is the return type. So the first one is string and second argument is string and the return type is gonna be string. So this is going to be by function 1. Okay, my bad, string. Okay, so A, comma B both are input parameters. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to concatenate these two variables. I'm going to put a simple space here. Okay, let's try to execute that. Okay, so it has the two inputs which are string and return type also string. So let me run this or execute them or apply some data. So what I'm gonna do is result equivalent by function 1 dot apply. The first data is gonna be Java and second parameter is going to be features. It has to be in double quotes. Okay, now it looks pretty good, right? Let's execute the program and see. See, the result is Java features. So this is how the by function is going to work. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, let's use our person repository and let's try something different. Okay, we are going to apply pretty much the same thing which we done earlier in the function, like this. Okay, let's create another by function. So by function, the first parameter is going to be a list of persons. List of person. And the second parameter is going to be a consumer or predicate. It's up to our need. Okay, I'm going to keep it as a predicate. Predicate of person. And the third parameter is going to be a map. We can use the same thing here. Copy in, paste it. So by function 2. So import util list and a function predicate. It's all. So the first parameter is going to be list of persons and second parameter is going to be the predicate. Let me open a body. Before that, let me close it. So by function it always return some data, right? Here it's going to be this particular map. So for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it as written as a null so we can modify it a bit later. Let's do the implementation. Okay, so what we are going to do now, so like our previous example, let's use our predications also here. let's copy the predication, Control C, and just keep them here so we can make use of it. So I'm going to use this by function which including our predicate and populating this particular map. So I'm going to populate the same map which we did the previous example, and this with the help of by function. Okay, so let's iterate the list of persons. List of, before that I need to have a map so where I can add them or put them into a map. Then list of persons, I'm going to iterate them with the help of for each and person, the token, and open a body. So here we need to, you don't have to do anything here, just copy paste the previous thing, it's pretty much the same thing. So return the map. Right? So it looks straightforward. So I have a by function will accept three parameters. One is a list of person, and second is a predication, and third is my output type of the data. Got it? So let's try to run this. So in order to run this, I need to have the list of persons. I think I can copy the entire thing. It's not a big deal. I'm just saving your time. So let's comment this particular line and then we can put them together here. So I'm going to use the bf2, or sorry, it has to be by function 2. So let's copy this by function dot apply, and personally here there is an error, correct? So the reason is we need to pass two parameters. I need to pass the predication as well. Okay, so I already used two predications here which are already there. Okay, so in order to execute this particular example, let me remove one of that. So I'm going to use the p1 dot test. Okay, because I'm going to take the another predicate as a input parameter. So I'm going to pass the p2 predicate as the second parameter. Okay, so here p1 dot, instead of p2 I'm going to use a predicate because predicate just holds the p2 here. Okay, so and predicate dot test, correct? So it's up to you. Okay, now I have a p1 which is I declared in the class level, and I have another predicate which came through as the input, and I'm testing with that against the person. I'm checking whether the height of the person is greater than or equal to 140 and he's a male person, and then I'm putting them into a map. Okay, let's run this and we'll see the output because we need to get the same kind of response, right? Let's run the previous example and see. John 2000 and 5700. Okay, so I'm going to get this, we need to get the same output, but here we used the by function. Okay, so let me run this to make sure we are getting the same. See, it's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty the same thing. Okay, so it's just based on your need, based on your requirement. You need to choose whether you need to go for by function or a function or a consumer or predicate. See, basically what I'm trying to say is if you want to process some implementation and you don't want to return any data, you can simply go for consumer and by consumer. Okay, and if you want to test or if you want to validate some data, you can use the predicate which will return the boolean. So you can process the data and return true or false, and that will taken care of predicate. So the same way you can use it by predicate based on your need. Okay, but the other scenario, function is mainly focused for returning some data, right? So in that particular scenario you can use the function interface, the function interface which will allow us to return some data. Okay, the function which will take one parameter and the by function will take two parameters. Okay, always the last parameter is going to be the type of the return data. Okay, so we came to end of this particular video. We'll see each other in the next video. Thank you.